There's a moment in every deal where everything still looks right. The numbers make sense. The story feels believable. The structure feels safe. And if you're not careful, that's exactly when you stop asking the hard questions. This was one of those deals. A small town car wash with $1 million price tag. And a story that almost worked. The seller wasn't a promoter. He wasn't flashy. He didn't come across like someone trying to sell you something. If anything, it was the opposite. He talked about stepping away, about health, about being tired, about wanting to be closer to family, grandkids, time, distance. 4 hours away, he said. You could hear it in the way he spoke. Not urgency, but something quieter, finality. And that matters, because in deals like this, you don't just underwrite numbers, you underwrite people. The buyer wasn't just looking for a deal. He was building something. A platform. Start with one location. Then expand across the region. Shared systems, shared operations, compounding value. The kind of strategy that doesn't depend on one asset, but on many. And this car wash? It fit the model. Small, manageable, local demand, and structurally, it looked even better. The seller agreed to carry 60% of the deal. That's not just financing. That's a signal. At least, that's how it's supposed to be read. If I'm willing to stay in the deal, I believe in the deal. That's the assumption. So the buyer moved forward. Offer submitted. Accepted. Agreement signed. Earnest money sent. At this point, everything looked like it was working. But deals don't fail at the beginning. They fail in the middle. When the story meets reality, the buyer asked for the basics. Profit and loss statements. Monthly revenue. Expense breakdowns. Simple. What came back? Wasn't fragments. A bank statement. A tax return. But no P&L. No operating snapshot. No clarity. The explanation was reasonable. CPA is busy. Tax season. And that's where most deals quietly go off track. Not with a red flag, but with a delay. That gets accepted. Then came the tax returns. And they didn't argue. They didn't explain. They just showed 97,000 in revenue. Not 120. Not 140. 97. And prior years? Losses. Significant ones. Now, could there be reasons? Of course. Depreciation, write-offs, timing. But here's the truth most people avoid. When numbers require explanation, they're already a problem. Because buyers don't buy explanations. They buy outcomes. The seller had an answer. It's mostly cash, coin-operated, which made sense until it didn't, because there were no logs, no tracking, no reconciliation, no system tying what was collected to what was deposited. And in that moment, revenue stops being a number and becomes a belief. Then came the equipment. New, the seller said. Upgraded. Turnkey. But the invoices told a quieter story. Repairs. Adjustments. Maintenance calls. Valves replaced. Motors fixed. Systems tuned. Not broken, but not passive. This wasn't a business you owned from a distance. This was one you stayed close to. And that changes everything. Because now, you're not just buying income, you're buying responsibility. So the buyer did the only thing that matters. He removed the story and rebuilt the deal from scratch. Revenue, based on what could be proven. Expenses, based on what had to exist. Utilities, repairs, chemicals, insurance, taxes. And what came out wasn't a six-figure income stream. It was something far smaller. 35, maybe 45,000 in real net operating income. And that's the moment everything becomes clear. Not emotionally, mathematically. Around the same time, the seller asked a different question. Not about the business, about the contract. There was another buyer. Cash, 95% of the price. Closer to family, health, timing. And now the deal wasn't just about numbers. It was about pressure, which is exactly when discipline matters most. At this point, most buyers hesitate. They've already invested time, energy, money. They start negotiating with themselves. Maybe it still works. But operators don't do that. They adjust to reality. Or they walk. So the buyer reset the deal. 300,000. Not as a tactic. Not as leverage. As a reflection of truth. This wasn't a bad deal. It was an unclear deal. Until it became clear. And that's the difference. Because deals don't fall apart. They reveal themselves. One document at a time. One delay at a time. One uncomfortable question at a time. So if you were here, in this deal, what would you do? Would you push forward? Would you walk? Or would you find a way to bridge the gap? Let me know, because this is where real deal makers are made.